Well, g'day, and welcome to the blog. It's Easter, so we're celebrating, and I said to somebody this morning, Easter, it's what Christmas is all about, and it's true. We celebrate the fact Jesus came. He came to earth. He died on a cross for our sins. He was vindicated and raised to new life, where he was then elevated to the right hand of the Father, where he reigns as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Is he your King? Are you following him? I'm following him. I'm loving it. And I know if you follow him, you'll love it too. And all of that. So, the blog for this week. As you know, we've been following a theme and we've been talking about things that hold us back in our journey with God. Kind of holding patterns that we can get caught into. And the first one we looked at was fear. Fear holds us back in so many ways from stepping out and following God. The next one that I think holds us back a lot is we've arrived. I have arrived. And I think that this is seen all around the place. You know, when we first become a Christian, we're so passionate. We're so excited. I remember I prayed for a young man at an Easter camp a long time ago, and he came to faith, and I gave him and went out and bought him a Bible, you know, and he rocked up every youth ministry event. Every time he came to church, that Bible, he'd read it, he brought it with him. It didn't matter what we were doing. We could be nailing jelly to the wall. He'd still have his Bible there. You know, he just loved that book, and he just read it, and he was so passionate about it. But I think, you know, that can dwindle. You know, like we can have passion and get excited, but then it kind of falls away. And I think things come in and distract us also. But also, I think it's this kind of mentality of, I've arrived. I go to church on Sunday. I go to Bible study on Tuesday. And I go to, you know, the social thing on Saturday. And I'm a pretty good Christian. And I'm pretty moral. And, you know, like I don't really need God to work on anything in my life right now. And I'm walking along and it's okay. And then all of a sudden, we've arrived. You know, like this is as good as it's going to get. The next thing that I think that can happen in the same sort of category is we have a moment with God and we're always trying to get back to that moment or trying to live that moment out for the rest of our life. And it's in the Bible this happens, you know, Peter and John go up the up a mountain with Jesus, and it's called the Transfiguration, and Jesus is transfigured, and Elijah rocks up and they all start glowing, and God speaks from heaven and goes, "This is my son who I am well pleased." And Peter's like, "Hey, let's build tents and all hang out, and you know, let's never go back down there into the mess and into the life that's down there." And I think Jesus was like, "Oh, Pete, come on. We've got to go back down there because, one, I haven't died on a cross yet, and that needs to happen so that the world can be freed from its sin." That's why we celebrated Easter. Pete, come on, get on with it. But we can do this. You know, I remember I stepped into a church. I was in a town in outback Australia, and I was like, this is like stepping back into 1970. They hadn't moved forward with God, and they were kind of just, oh, we've arrived. Our theology is the best theology that you can have. They're not continually growing. The Bible actually says continually grow. Look forward. In fact, in 2 Peter 3:13 it says this, "But in keeping with his promise, we are looking forward to the new heaven and the new earth where righteousness dwells." We look forward to what God has promised us. And then he spells that out and says, the new heaven and the new earth. God has promised us newness, new life. I mentioned that. Jesus was raised to new life. And God's promises call us forward. We're continually being renewed. We're continually growing as we move forward with God. And that's a tough process. That can be really tough because we've got to throw things off and all of that sort of stuff. Hebrews 12 verse 1 says this, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." Now, some of you guys are just beginning the race. But this verse here, let's have a quick look at it. It starts with therefore. And in Bible college, they teach you if you come across a therefore, you've got to go back and work out what it's there for. Little Bible college humor, bit nerdy, but anyway. It's there because Paul Paul, the writer of Hebrews, it could be Paul, but we're not sure, is summing up his argument that he's made over the last 12 chapters, where he's talked about the faith of Abram, the faith of Enoch. He's talked about Jesus, the great high priest. He's talked about all of this. And then he says, since we're surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses. And what he's saying is there's loads of people who have gone before us. When he's writing to the Romans, he's talking about King David and Abraham and Moses and all those Joshua and all those heroes of the Bible. But we have heroes too who have gone before us, like Wesley or Carey, the missionaries back a few hundred years ago. And even, people in our day who are still kind of running the race. But when they get to heaven, they're all in heaven. They're cheering us on and just going, yes, keep moving forward. And they're witnessing to us and saying, keep growing and keep going. And that word perseverance comes out. It's a perseverance thing. We've got to keep moving forward in perseverance. Like, don't get entangled, throw all that off, but yet also keep persevering in the race. Because when you stop and you think you've arrived, let me tell you, we're not there until we're there. As it says in 2 Peter, we're looking forward to the new heaven. You're not there until you're there. You're not in heaven until you're in heaven. You keep running the race until you get there. The race marked out for us. It's a journey. We're not there until we get there, And we're also tempted to stop and go, I've arrived, I'm a bit tired, I'm just going to hang about here. And then we end up caught in this holding pattern that holds us back from what God has for us just around the corner. And we don't realize that actually we're okay here, but around there we're going to be even better. And then around the next corner we're going to be even better. As a lot of you know, guys, I struggled with my weight, and you can still see there's a bit of stuff going on there. I still struggle, and as you know, I've lost 10 stone, or if you want to talk metric, 60 kilos or thereabouts of weight, and I've put some back, but I'm still doing all right. And so I notice little comments on Facebook, and what I've noticed is that there are loads of people out there. The first question they ask is, how did you do it? Like there's some magic trick that worked to get us there, or how did you do? And the other thing is that they say, I can't lose weight. I'm like, huh? You can't lose weight? Like your body is somehow chemically different to mine. You can't lose weight. And it's always boggled my mind, but I've been watching with interest this developing trend on Facebook as people post things about weight and about how it's okay to be overweight. It's okay to be obese. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's fine. As long as you're happy. And you get that a lot. I'm happy. and I shouldn't be looked down upon because I'm... And we're not looking down. You're not being looked down on. But I think the thing is that we need to realize is that that what they've done is they've stopped and they've gone, I can't do anything about it. I'm stuck here, and so I might as well just like they've stopped moving forward in their weight loss or whatever. They've just decided that where I'm okay is good enough, and I don't need to be thin. Now, to be fair, nobody needs to be thin. What they need to be is healthy. There's a difference between happy and healthy. And more people are starting to die. The leading killer in our world is heart disease, but I believe that's going to be taken over by obesity very shortly. This is why loads of people are putting out things and saying you can lose weight, stop eating so much. And a lot of people come back to me and go, but I'm happy. I don't want to be unhappy. Yeah, but you're not healthy. And that's a point I want to make, that actually in our Christian walk, we get like that. We get to the point where we go, I'm happy where I am. I've arrived. I'm fine. I'm happy. I don't want to move forward with God because I've arrived. And it's okay. It's okay where I'm at. It's all right. I don't need to move forward. Like in the arena of weight loss, I don't need to lose weight. Oh, they're just making they're just making noise about nothing, really. It's not true. You might be happy where you are, but are you moving forward with God, and are you healthy? Are you becoming more holy? Are you growing into what God would have you become? Are you moving with God, guys? Don't settle for something less than what God would have for you, guys. Be passionate about Jesus. I was thinking about this. I reckon I'm more passionate today about Jesus Christ than I was when I became a Christian. I'm becoming more and more passionate every day to see His name lifted high in our church and in our community. Now, I know a lot of you guys are just starting your walk with God, and you're all really excited and moving forward in that. And you know, you guys are to be clapped, and do it, James. Keep moving forward with God. Don't stop. Don't ever assume you've arrived. Don't ever make standard operating procedure where you are now and try to hold on to that. Continue to seek God. Continue to seek His presence. Guys, there's going to be some opportunities over the next week to do that. We've got the prayer Friday evening coming up. We've got Sunday morning services. There's baptisms and prayer afterwards. Meet with God this Easter. Meet with Jesus. And if you don't know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, then meet with Him and give your life to follow Him. It's worth it, 110%. If I could go back, I would do it 10 years earlier. I'd get on the road 10 years earlier. I wouldn't have let fear hold me back. And I wouldn't have let my thoughts of it's alright, it's okay where I'm at, hold me back, guys. Just keep walking with God. Keep journeying with God. Look, I'll catch you next time in the land of the interweb. But have a fantabulous Easter. God bless.